to Josiah's Toy Box. The video you're going to watch right now, it's actually from my old channel. Hi everybody, and welcome to Josiah is Right. So today I wanted to do just kind of quick unboxing, so forgive me, I have had a cold and stuff for about a week, so. Is that Penny? Come on, Pen. Come here. Right before I turned the camera on, Penny ran away, so now here she is. So Penny's also been a little bit sick, so that's why she was a little grumpy about joining me. But here we are. So forgive our sicknesses, and welcome to Josiah is Right. Penny, can you say hi to everybody? Yeah, there you go. So I want to do a little bit of an unboxing video because I have a couple action figures, old Toy Biz X-Men that I wanted to open up for a while and just haven't. So the first one is Colossus here, and the second one is, can you hold Colossus for me? Is the Brood. Now I have, I don't have this guy. I have a Colossus figure. So actually, this is one of my favorite toys, even though it's kind of terrible. Once I open it up, you'll see it's very limited in what it does and posability and stuff. So this is like the later repackaging of it. So the early ones were sort of the more generic X-Men Toy Biz line. And this came when they kind of amped it up quite a bit, as you can see on the back with the different figures and all that. The X-Force line and things like that came out later. Man, there's some great figures here. I had a lot of these, and the ones I didn't have, my friend Josh had, and I'll get to him in a bit when I talk about the Brood there. But this figure I found at a thrift store for like $5 or less, and so I was happy to have it. I love though that it does have that like original X-Men up in the right corner, even though it's I mean like the original X-Men in terms of the toy series. So we're gonna take Colossus out here. For a long time, I'm pretty sure this was the only Colossus line. I don't know if there was another option. So, of course, what was always cool about these toys was the trading card. And we have an X-Force one, Warpath and Feral. So, some members of X-Force. This is the Fleer Ultra 94, so that tells you this is definitely a later series. I don't know what year the original line of these came out. But here we have Colossus. And simple action figure. The original one I had, wow, this one feels so much better than the one I have. I'll explain why in just a second. But the original figure I had, I actually painted his hair black because it bothered me that his hair was blue on the toy. As you can see here, he is blue hair, and I think in comics they use blue a lot on black to show like contrasting color, so it's still dark, but it's meant to be like, you know, just the shadow or what have you, or the difference in it. But they made his hair completely blue, which I thought looked silly and ridiculous. And I loved this figure as a kid, even though that's all he does. He like lifts his weights, which it's kind of cool, and I like that he had this big heavy weight that he can actually practically lift. But that's all he does. Like, you can't have him hold anything else. His hands are always in this weird position, like he's begging you for something. That part I just didn't care for. But I'll say this, I have another one of these, which is not my original. My original also, his arm broke off. So once that arm broke off, I glued it back on, and he couldn't even do that. So he's a very, very limited action figure. There's not a lot of articulation in these to begin with. And he was super limited once that broke. And so I glued it on, had it for years and years and years, and I sold it eventually once I got another one. The other one I got, though, however, wasn't much better because he was like so wobbly, like all the joints were super loose. I still have that one up there, but I got that one like on the lot on eBay, so I wasn't really, it was like, you know, several figures. It can't stand on its own, like it literally has to be pressed in next to other figures, as by now you will have seen. So it kind of stinks, but you know, it is what it is kind of thing. And anyway, I'm glad to have a replacement for it, and I'm glad to have the box, which is in relatively good shape, to keep the packaging, just because the back here is just memories of me looking at these and dreaming of which figures. Which figure do you want to get, Penny? Can you pick one? Pick an action figure. Which one do you want to get? She picked Cannonball, by the way, which I never had, but my friend Josh had, because he has like a sort of pinkish outfit, and she's kind of getting into pink right now, so. She's not totally a girly girl because she's playing with Colossus and she'll play with like the He-Man toys and stuff behind me. But she definitely has a thing for pink and those kind of colors. So up next is the Brood. Now these, I didn't realize it as a kid. They're obviously alien knockoffs they're just, that's all they are. But in a way, they're scarier because they can also fly. But this is the kind of figure where if I had a dozen of them, it wouldn't be enough. You know, it's just that massive army of unstoppable forces. So the packaging on the back looks to be slightly different. There's actually more figures. It seems like it's weird. It seems like they're bigger to me, but there's more figures you can kind of select from and look at here. There's a lot that I had. The top row, I had everything but Deadpool. The second row, I had everything but Cannonball. Third row, I had everything but Forearm Guy. Yeah, so basically in each row, I only lacked one figure. I had a newspaper route when these were the thing, and that is how I funded my toy addiction. So, which, now my wife funds my toy addiction. So, let's open this guy up. I say guy, but do these have gender? I'm sure I'm overthinking. So the card just fell, and I can't grab it with Penny, but it was a Beast, and it was the same Fleer Ultra series, so it's Beast. And the Fleer Ultra is kind of like a little bit like the Marvel Masterpieces. They're the painted style. The Fleer Ultra, though, it's like the Marvel Masterpieces meets sort of like a traditional like kind of card where it has like that style to it. If you're familiar with the Marvel Masterpieces, they're more of an art style to them overall. Like even the presentation, it's more like almost like an art book. I had actually a comic book that was like Marvel Masterpieces art book. I love that comic. I would just look at the pictures, and you know, this is before the days of that being super common. It kind of became common right around then. So let's take out the packaging here from Brood. And one thing nice, these figures are just in there without any kind of ties. Now this is like the later Toy Biz, so you can see the level of detail from like first wave to later toy. It's really astronomical how far they've come. Like just the detail in this thing. Of course, it's got the button press. These Toy Biz was all about the gimmicky things too. Pretty sure that Avi Arad, that's kind of like was his thing. Like I know he's later been producer and all that stuff on a lot of Marvel stuff, but he was really a toy designer first, and he made, you know, I don't know if he designed this, for example, but he designed probably like some of the early stuff, and certainly early on in its before the X-Men stuff, when that was kind of what he did. But it is a great figure. Josh had this. So Josh had, he and his brother Jeremiah had a lot of the toys that I didn't have. It's cool to be able to play with things that I didn't have, and we would trade toys and borrow toys. And this was one of them. And I always loved this figure. And looking at it now, I'm kind of like, why? But I guess I just liked weird monsters, and this is a weird monster, and it was scary, and it was like, to me, that's a good villain for the X-Men, just this unstoppable creature. And from a kid point of view, this attacks you and dies, and then another one comes, and another one comes, and then you just have one toy that does it. That's how I would think. I would think in terms of how like a figure could fill out a story that I would want to play, which I've talked about in a retro review, so I'll link to that below. But those are the Toy Biz figures. Can you show them Colossus? That's Colossus, she knows. So hold up Colossus, I'll hold up the Brood. Those are our new toys. We're gonna have some fun playing with these guys. Thank you guys for watching. Penny, can you say bye? Bye everybody. Oh, she's shaking the weight to say goodbye. Bye guys, appreciate it. We will see you later. See you, Penny. See you, Penny. See you, Penny. See you. Bye guys.